Chris Sewall here, baseball card collector, investor, dealer in that order. Welcome everyone, PSA reveal video time here, and this was an 8-card order sent in at the regular level. This was sent in with a February special where it was $60 per card. I think it currently sits at $75 a card for the regular service, but yeah, for the February special, I sent it in at $60 per card, and it's a pretty fast turnaround time. It was something like 18 days door to door, I believe. So that was nice, and I did get upcharged on one card. That means the card, according to PSA, is worth more than the max declared value allowed of $1,500. So this service level comes with a maximum declared value of $1,500 per card, and I had one card. Actually, I had a couple of cards that could have been upcharged, but only got upcharged on one. So yeah, going to go through them here like usual. You can see I predicted my grades on each of them beforehand, like I usually do, and I will also go through the financial breakdown on each card and the total order at the end. First card is a Jim Brown rookie, 1958 Topps, and this got a 4MC, which I thought was sort of a strange grade. I had predicted 3 or 4. The MC is a qualifier. It stands for miscut. Qualifiers are not very commonly used by PSA anymore. They used to use them quite a lot more, but they've sort of phased them out, although they still use them apparently, or they clearly once in a while. The miscut here, again, I thought this was sort of a strange grade. It's because of the back. You can see down at the bottom, some of the wording is really, really close to the border. I don't know. I didn't think that was worthy of a miscut qualifier, but that's what it is. 4MC, you should kind of consider that more like a 2 in terms of value, and that's obviously below what I was looking for. Next card up, another Jim Brown rookie. There were 2 of them in this order, obviously. This one got a 3, and I had predicted 3 or 4 on both of them. 3 is a fair grade here. It's no major issues, but has plenty of minor issues throughout. Some light chipping on the back. The corners are fairly tipped, not perfect centering. There's some surface issues all around. So 3 is fair. I think 4 would have been fair as well, but yeah, not going to complain about the 3. There were 2 1957 Topps Mickey Mantles in this order, and I predicted 3 or 4 on both of them. The first one here got a 2, and this one was a bit confusing to me. I couldn't figure out why this would grade so low. There's just, I predicted 3 or 4, so it's not like it's wildly low. It's just 1 grade lower than one of my predictions, but I thought 2 was a really, really strict grade here. It looks much nicer than a 2, and I couldn't find any technical reason why it would grade that low. The second one got a 3.5, so that one's exactly what I predicted. Predicted 3 or 4, got a 3.5, and to me both of them look basically the same in terms of overall quality. Eye appeal or overall quality, technically even. They're just no real major technical issues, just a bunch of minor ones on both of them. I thought they were very, very similar cards. I don't think they're a grade and a half difference in terms of quality. So I thought the 2 was a little bit of a strange grade, and obviously I thought the 3.5 was spot on. And the difference in value between a 2 and a 3.5 is a few $100. So that's just something noteworthy, we'll say. 1953 Topps Willie Mays. It's a high number and a 3rd-year card of Mays. I had predicted 1 or 2. It actually got a 2. It's a decent looking low grade card. Decent eye, strong eye appeal, I would say, for a low grade card. But it technically has some creases. They're light creases, but they're creases that go through the whole card. And there's some significant edge wear, especially in the lower right corner. So I actually thought this was 1 or 2 was it couldn't grade higher than a 2. So that actually scored on the sort of high end of my range prediction. 1959 Topps Mickey Mantle, and I had predicted a 3 or 4, and I really thought this was a 4, but a 3 is reasonable too. It's a little bit strict, I would say. It's again, very strong eye appeal for a 3. Just looking at it from here, looks probably nicer than a 3. The corners are a bit more tipped than I think it shows here in the video, and there's some light surface stuff, but it's a really nice 3, a strong eye appeal for a 3, and this is a card that I'll price higher than standard market value for a PSA 3, just because I think because of the eye appeal, it'll have more demand than sort of a standard 3. Next up is a Hank Aaron rookie. I actually featured this in an earlier pickup video. I predicted an authentic or a 1. It got a 1 MK, and I just had forgotten that there's actually some writing on the back. This W here is just a pen written by somebody. I don't know what the W stands for, but it's certainly there. So yeah, 1 MK. MK stands for Mark, is a qualifier. I really didn't know what PSA was going to do with this because it's so low grade and with such major paper loss on the front. I predicted authentic or 1, but they gave it a 1 MK, which that certainly makes perfect sense. 2 qualifiers in this order. Like I said, rarely get qualifiers these days, but out of these 8 cards, managed to get 2 qualifiers. And last card is a Jordan rookie. I had predicted 3 or 4, and it got a 4, and this was the card that got the upcharge, as it's worth significantly more than $1,500. And I actually thought 4 was a bit generous. I thought 3 was more likely than a 4. Again, the front corners are tipped quite a bit more than you can probably make out here in the video. I thought they were kind of too dinged up to be in the, well, 4 is reasonable, but I thought 3 was more likely than a 4. So, you know, I'll take that, of course. So overall, it looks like out of the 8 cards, I got 2 on the high end of my range, 2 on the low end of my range, 2 right in the middle, and 2 sort of, you know, lower than my predicted range. 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, so let's go through the cards one by one and do the financial breakdown. And basically, all these cards, it would make sense to send in for grading at, you know, even if they're super low grade. I mean, they're all from the 50s except the Jordan, and all these cards are cards where, you know, there's fakes that exist. There's a lot of trimming going on with cards such as these, you know, recoloration and other sort of things like that. So just getting them into the holder goes a long way, even if it's like a PSA 1. Just getting them to the holder goes a long way to making them easier to sell. So in addition to the numbers you see here, it's also a big benefit to me in the sense that they'll now be a lot easier to sell. First is the Jim Brown rookie. I would have guessed raw I could have sold this for about $600. These are all estimates. The grading fee was $60. We're going to round that up to $65 to factor shipping and insurance. And now that it's in a 4MC holder, I'm going to guess it can sell for about $750. So that means by sending this to PSA, I added about $85 to my bottom line. And trust me, I understand there's other fees and things, as people always mention in the comments correctly, but not factoring that in here for simplicity's sake. The other Jim Brown, a little bit better, although not a whole lot better. The PSA 3, also about $600 raw, and can sell for about $800 now that it's in a PSA 3, and that's about $135 of added value. The Mantle that got the 2 is essentially a break even, didn't add much, and again, I think this is a high eye appeal too, so I'll probably try to get a little bit more than the $375 sort of market value of a PSA 2. The 3.5, much better, as you can see here. Probably could have sold it for about $300 raw. Now that it's in the holder, about $650, so added close to $300 there. The 59 Mantle, also basically about a break even. Again, I was looking for a 4, and this is another one I'll probably try to hold out for a little bit more than the standard market value of $325, just because it's a nice eye appeal for a 3. The 53 Mays probably goes for about $1,000 raw in low grade, such as this, and in a PSA 2 goes for about $1,800. So added over $700 in value here. And remember, I was expecting a 1 or 2, and I thought 1 was more likely. So this is actually sort of a nice, you know, surprise hit. And this is a one that PSA could have upcharged me on. I mean, PSA 2's, you know, $1,800 is sort of going market rate. That's higher than the threshold of $1,500. But my experience is they really don't upcharge you unless it's, you know, more significant over the limit than this. The Hank Aaron rookie, a little difficult to estimate what this would sell for raw and graded, since when you're in sort of low grade territory, it's all about eye appeal, and it's tough to find sort of exact matches. But I roughly estimated, added $135 here, going from $900 up to $1,100 in the holder now. And last is the Jordan, and you're not even allowed to sell these raw on eBay, or a lot of platforms won't allow you to sell a raw 86 Fleer Jordan just because there's so many fakes and so much alterations done to them. So getting it in the holder is a huge benefit. If I had sold it raw, I would have had to find a private buyer, and I'm guessing I would have gotten around $2,000 for it. In the PSA 4 holder, it goes for about $3,000, and this is the card I got upcharged for correctly, as it's, you know, well above the $1,500 threshold. So the grading fee went from $60 up to, I think, $130, and I'm just putting $135 here for you know, the purpose of the exercise. So it added about $865 in value by getting this card graded, but in reality it's more than that, because it also is now a whole lot easier to sell, whereas it's a very, very hard card to sell raw. But overall, a very nice result. I actually had no negatives in this order, which is quite rare for me. No cards in the red. But overall, about $2,200 plus in added value. Basically just means I will be making that much more money because I sent them in for grading than if I had sold the cards raw, and that's I'm happy with that result. And if anyone has any questions, as always, about any of the cards or the decisions or whatever, feel free to leave them in the comments as always, and I'll be happy to answer them. And until next time, have a great day. May the force be with you, and eat your vegetables, please. Thanks, everyone.